What's up, Dave? All right, so went back a couple ops here to try to find a decent replay for you. Something that hopefully kind of covers a few different things that would help out. So this was a drop I did on Tarsier, and it's a pretty clean landing, pretty clean smokes, and pretty clean flares. So hopefully we could pick up a couple things here. So first thing, one, you'll kind of start to get a feel for it based on what base it is and where the weapons are placed. But like, I know on Tarsier, if those rocket launchers are there, and I'm going to test out this screen draw thing, which I just downloaded, never used it before, so we'll see if this works. But yeah, I know if there's a rocket launcher here, the range of that rocket launcher, I could sneak underneath it on the landing. And like I said, it's something you just kind of get a feel for. I know I don't need to smoke this landing. The DC right there is even tighter, so definitely out of range of that. But yeah, I know if I start, let's see, let's try flipping back and forth here. I know if I start over here and work left, I'll stick under the range of that rocket launcher. It won't be a problem. So the next thing here, actually looking at the landing, and this is another one of those things you just kind of get a feel for. It's all about the timing here. So, start far enough out, to where you're not going to be dropping troops on top of your flare. Start as far out as you need to. You can't really go one side of the beach to the other. Your flare will run out, but use your distance there. And then the timing of actually dropping the boats is kind of important. Like, I know with some of your attacks, you'll drop boats and have some gaps between them, or maybe drop two or three really quick, or wait on a bunch, and yeah, the end result is you end up with this wide line of Z's at the end. Where the goal is, when you're done, you have them nice and tight. You have them in a group that you can walk them up. So if you'll watch here, and try to do this on half speed. The perfect landing, and it's a timing thing that you'll get the hang of, and you don't really have to look for this, but it doesn't hurt the first handful of times until you start getting like the tap timing down. As soon as that first Z steps off the boat, you want to be clicking the next landing craft. So if you watch, one drops and turns, and I drop the next boat. Okay, so that'll result in when the next boat, the first Z, steps off and turns, she's going to be in line with all the ones on previous boats, and you end up with that nice tight line. Also, whenever you're dropping them, like, those flags don't have to be in like the perfect spot. You don't want them out here, and you don't want them back here. But you do have anywhere, like my next boat, I could drop them anywhere from here to here. Anywhere from the top of the beach to the bottom of the beach. Anywhere in that box, I could drop the next flag, and it'll be perfect. It'll put the next craft here, and they'll be able to just stay in line. If you drop them over here, on the opposite side of this halfway point, it's going to drop the next boat right here. If you put it here, it's going to drop the next boat out here, and you end up with this gap. So you just want to keep it in that nice tight. You have one spot here to the middle of the boats that have been landed so far. Anywhere in that box, you could drop the next boat, and you're good. And then if you have the timing, just that tap every second or so, however often it is, you end up with that nice tight group at the end of it. So I'll let this roll again. So you see, pretty consistent there. And like I said, I know these are going to sneak underneath the rocket launcher there, so I don't need to smoke the beach immediately. But I do know that basically as soon as they turn up, I got to have smoke on them. So you can see, I already have that next smoke. I paused it right at the tap there. That's where the next smoke is going in this case. So good. Run it again. And then, the goal is just to, overlap the smokes a little bit on the beginning there until the Z's get nice and tight. But being that, in that case, had them pretty tight off of the beach, and I didn't do a really deep flare. If I flare to this current spot, if I flare here immediately, they're going to walk a pretty wide path back to that point, and I'll have to keep overlapping smokes. But since I flared here instead, they get tight right out of the gate, and then I can kind of spread the smokes out a little bit as they walk. And with this one, they're still going to walk around that doom cannon, so they're not going to be like a super tight line like, you'll get on dioxin sometimes, but, still fairly tight where they're not going to be walking around 2 or 3 weapons, and you got to overlap half the smoke. So, it works out there. But let's clear that. Let's get rid of that. We'll just run this one out. Now this is another spot here, with some of your replays. Let's see it get a little bit shaky at the end here, where you'll drop kind of a smoke on the center there, and then, try to do a bit of a double smoke. But the goal here, these last 2 smokes should be like bang, bang, back to back. You want those 2 smokes clearing at almost the same time. So all your Z's come out from under the smoke at the same time, and they're all firing at the same time. It keeps from you wasting shock. If you have Z's under smoke while weapons are shocked, you're wasting the shock. So, like I said, the goal there is for the Z's to come out at the same time, right as shocks are landing, and you'll have that maximum damage before the shocks run out or before you have to send more shocks in. So, go ahead and play it again. You see those 2 are really quick. Also facing kind of parallel with the core. So, that we're eventually going to flare here, so the Z's are going to spread in a line like this. So that's kind of how you want your smoke set too. You want one here, you want one here. That way when they spread and they're aiming at the core, your Z's are covered. So kind of play again here. You kind of see what that did there. They all kind of spread out in that direction and everything's covered. Not perfect smokes here. Or perfect shocks, I mean. The one on the doom cannon down there, I threw that quick and forgot that I had those 2 machine guns down there, so I ended up throwing a second shock on it. But whatever, it worked. I knew I was out of range of this rocket launcher up here. I knew I was out of range of these machine guns. Knew I was going to be out of range of these machine guns, but I knew that these ones were going to be an issue here. They're the ones that I should have shocked better. But I also knew I didn't have to shock this rocket launcher. I was going to be inside of that one. It's going to be inside of this one too. This one probably, I still had a few peeking out from that one. So figured I needed to shock that one. I also needed to shock both of these mortars. So just kind of threw a shock that would cover the 4 rocket launchers there. Reasonably easy drop, but not perfect, but I think it was like a 1.7 core, so not awful. Let's see, about 8, almost an extra 1.6 on the core, so pretty close to 1.8. But let me know if that helps. If there's something else you wanted to look at there, timing of flares, things like that. Let me know. Be happy to shoot another video for you. So let me know what you think. All right, man.